Hello, everybody. This is Dexter Kendrick. I'd like to welcome you all back to Dexter Kendrick Soul here on YouTube. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel and to these videos for astrological updates that are relevant and also conversations regarding psychic phenomena. Today, we're going to be talking about Mars' current transit through Scorpio. I know it's been a minute. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy holidays. The holidays were extremely busy for me. I've been working on a couple different projects. I hope your holidays were well. We'll dig right in. So on January 3rd, Mars, god of war and conflict, and of course, ego drives, how we go about getting what it is that we desire or want in life, moved into Scorpio, which is one of its patron signs. Remember, the planets are the driving forces of the zodiac, and the signs are how those things are expressed. And so, whereas Venus recently exited out of Scorpio, remember we spoke about what happens, what it means for you when Venus goes to hell. Venus has left Scorpio. Certainly, we had to acknowledge some truths about our relationships with ourselves and also our relationships with other people, some truths that had not perhaps been spoken, some uncomfortable things that had to come up. And Venus moved on. Now she's traveling through Sagittarius. Check out Dexter Kendrick Soul on Facebook or Instagram and find out a little bit more about what that means for you during this 3-week period. She'll be traveling through Sagittarius until the 23rd. Next week, she comes to Capricorn, where we'll definitely show her some great hospitality. I'll be talking about that next week. Mars, however, is transiting through Scorpio. My question to you is, have you ever had a circumstance or an experience where you wanted something really, really badly, and yet you had to let it go because it was no good for you? Was it, whether it be a lover or a career or a friendship or even a circumstance like a job or something like that? If you've ever been in that kind of a position, and you kind of get the essence of Mars in Scorpio, and mythologically, Mars was the god that was responsible for how we held on to our own self-esteem and self-worth whenever we were going into battle. Of course, Mars was the god of war, and even though he didn't win all of his battles, he was known for being able to go into a berserker type rage and pull on strength to get through whatever battle that he was in until he came out either successful or was able to pick himself up, lick his wounds, and go on to the next battle and live to fight another day. And so we're all having that experience from January 3rd up until March 5th. This is a significant 7-week transit of Mars, where we're pulling on our fortitude to look at something that we want really badly and say, maybe not now. Maybe not today. Or if it's something that we've been holding on to that's no longer giving us life and is actually draining us in some way, spiritually or energetically, to look at it and say, you know what? I was receiving some value out of this circumstance at a certain point in time, but now it's actually costing me more than it's worth. I'm actually feeling worse in this circumstance than I was previously. Now, of course, Scorpio will land in any number of areas depending on what your sign is, and so you can definitely contact me to find out what area Scorpio lies in for you in your birth chart. I highly recommend taking a look at alabe.com. You can find that out for yourself. If you want a deeper conversation, I'm always available via private practice. You can message me on Facebook at Dexter Kendrick Soul or DM me on Instagram at Dexter Kendrick Soul. Nonetheless, we also had another visit to hell. I mean, essentially, Mars is entering into the dungeon right now. So what aspects of our lives are dead or dying? Because Scorpio always represents what happens when we come to the end of a cycle. If we think about the time of year that Scorpio exists around, it's fall, it's autumn. So plants or trees are giving up their leaves, fruit is falling off the trees, and it becomes time to let go of things. They begin to compost and prepare themselves for the next movement that happens in spring. And so right now, Mars energy is scouring our dungeon, our personal inner dungeon, and dangling in front of us those things that we actually said that we wanted and asking us what we're willing to pay for it. There's always a price. Of course, Scorpio always represents transactions, which is why sometimes we associate Scorpio with conversations such as sex, which is always a transaction between two energies. We associate it with taxes, which represents what we owe to other people or the cost that is assessed to us for living. We also associate it with inheritances, those things that are left over at the end of the day. And so we're taking a look at that during this 3-month period from January 3rd until March 5th. What is it that is left over when all is said and done? Some of us will be deciding to leave our course of study because we have gotten what we need, or we decided that our path has suddenly shifted. Or if we've been holding on to something that has outlived its purpose and been lying to ourselves about it and not expressing our Mars. Mars is the energy that says, you know what? Damn it, I'm done. I see that this is not working out for me. I don't know what's coming next, but I have to let go of what is here. And if we're not doing that, then other people and circumstances will come into our lives and pull the rug out from underneath of us. So we can sometimes program the universe to have other people act out our Mars for us. So if we are behaving in a manner that is in some way like akin to martyrdom, or if we are somehow behaving in a passive aggressive manner, Scorpio is a very blunt and forward kind of an energy, and certainly Mars is a very boom bang bombastic kind of an energy, and so we're not going to be able to skirt around these issues. But I will say this, the things that are leaving our lives at this time, regardless of how long they may have been there for up until now, are leaving our lives and have given us clues over the past several years that they were coming to an end. Now, the other ruling planet of Scorpio, which is Pluto, has been traveling through Capricorn since 2008. I highly recommend if you go take a look at what area of your chart Capricorn lies in, you'll be able to see the seeds and the foretelling of what aspects of your life have been trying to leave anyway. And now that Mars has entered into Scorpio and creating a sextile, there's an opportunity for you to get out. There's really going to be opportunities for you to get out, whether that getting out is thrust upon you by being let go of your job, whether that get out is thrust upon you by your partner leaving you, or whether you're deciding to leave some circumstance and change your perspective. Now, there's some interesting things that happen down in hell. I'm going to keep this as short as possible. My brother Eli and my sales and marketing team told me that, I got to keep it less than 10 minutes. I'd love to chat with you. Certainly hit me up with Dexter Kendrick Soul. We can do a one-on-one. I'd love to do that with more time. But it's very important that I get to the essence of what we're discussing today. So, nonetheless, very important things enter into existence down in hell. There's things that happen. Why? Because hell represents not only what happens at the end of life, what's left over, but underneath the surface of earth in this hell that we're discussing is the gemstones. Diamonds are in hell. Amethyst, ruby, quartz, emerald, sapphires. All those things are beneath the surface, and you can only get to them when you let go of what you don't need any longer. So coal, when it's heated up and transformed through a crisis, because we have a significant amount of rage when we decide we have to leave something we wanted really badly. Some people are going to be leaving their marriages. Some people are going to be finding out that their marriage is broken because there were things happening beneath the surface they didn't know about that now are coming up from hell. And so we're all experiencing these different aspects of our own individual hell. So for some people, it'll be family issues that are coming up from the surface, things that family secrets and things that you didn't know existed previously. But we're going to be dealing with this. And what happens is we're able to transform ourselves. We're able to have a transformation because we get to see the purpose for leaving something behind as we begin to let go and prepare for moving forward. Of course, most of the historical religions had a belief in reincarnation. And so hell was not hell in the way that is like an ending of life, but it was a preparation for a rebirth. Of course, we know that in springtime, everything is born over again. So my recommendation to you, the best way to use this energy is to let go of what you see is trying to leave your life and dying anyway, because it is an inevitable fact. Also, I want to emphasize that last Saturday on the 9th, and I posted about this on Instagram at Dexter Kendrick Soul and also on Facebook at Dexter Kendrick Soul. On the 9th, the new moon kicked off our new energy in Capricorn, and so we were all transported to our own personal hell. We were actually having to face our fears. We were having to face wholeheartedly and confront what it is that we're afraid of. What is your worst case scenario? Take a look at it, face it, acknowledge to yourself that it may not necessarily play out that way, and if it does, that there is a benefit of it that you will be noticing more and more as we move closer to March 5th. Be blessed. I love you. Please like, subscribe, and share to dexterkendricksoul.com. This was a conversation on Mars transit through Scorpio until March 5th. I'll be coming through very shortly with a conversation on Venus's transit through Capricorn, aka Your reputation precedes you. What does your reputation say about you? We'll be talking about that very shortly. Enjoy this weekend, and don't forget, Dexter Kendrick Soul is back. Thank you.